My name's Jason Courtney. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I was doing some research on lease options and I think I came across them via the internet, something like that. A little over a year and a half ago I started, so December of 2014. I did my first deal about 2 weeks after sending out my first email blast. So I would say it took me a week to understand the marketing aspect of the program, and I'd say a week before I got my first deal. And I made $5,000 on that deal. Well, I spent a lot of time training and reading the scripts and trying to sound like I knew what I was doing before I started calling people. But I would say once I actually got a deal, that deal I probably invested 3.5 to 4 hours in that deal before I got paid. Because some of the deals seem better than other deals, but now that I'm learning more about the business, some of the deals that have less money in them are more secure deals than deals that have more money in them. So, I got a $20,000 down payment from a lease option tenant one time. That was pretty nice. That's the biggest one I've ever gotten. But I currently own 10 properties that I bought subject to. I've closed a little over 30 deals with the program, and I'd like to continue to buy them and build my own portfolio. So I've got some good deals. Some deals that I didn't do so well on at first. There's very little cash flow on those deals, and once that tenant moves out, I will probably restructure it to where there's more cash flow. But I didn't know what I was doing at first. I was just doing things because I was desperate and needed to make this work. So, well, I won't do a deal for less than $5,000, but I'm currently closing. I want to say more than one deal a month, probably 2 deals a month, but it's probably better off to say 1 deal a month. I have a goal of closing 2 a month, which I hope to extend to 4 to 6 a month here this weekend to learn about automation and how to outsource some of the administrative stuff that I don't like to do. So I just like talking to people and trying to help them fix their problem, and that's what I really want to focus my energy on, and so I'm here to learn how to delegate some of the other things properly so I can do that. So I am closing deals consistently. I think that I got spoiled the first year going through the business where I was closing, like I said, a little more at 1 month I closed 4 deals, but I'd say 2 deals was the average, and we were making a little $10,000 a month doing that, sometimes more. And I got a little lazy beginning of 2016. So I am consistently closing deals. I have 3 that I'm currently working on now that I hope to close by the end of this month. And I have a pipeline of deals that should carry me through to do this 3 to 4 deals a month from here on out. And Joe's telling me I'm going to be able to do more than that after this weekend. So I'm excited to learn how to do that. I think for me, I want to create a portfolio that creates enough income to supply my family's basic needs. Nothing extravagant. I don't care to be a millionaire, but I do want the freedom. I've learned that money isn't everything, and I want to experience my children while they're young and be there for them as a mentor when they're older. And I don't want to be consumed with work. I want to be able to be free to do that. And Joe's program has already made that possible for me. But my future goals is to create portfolios that I can not only support my family with, but pass down to my children so that they don't have to worry about finances and they can invest in their family. Well, how I got into the program is I had a partnership go bad and I lost everything. So I invested everything I had into this partnership, and that partnership failed. So we literally, I think the straw that broke the camel's back for me is we had to borrow grocery money from my in-laws, and it just took me to a place I've never been, never want to be again. And so Joe's program saved our life, our lifestyle anyway, not so much our lives, but I think that the ability to make money with this program so quickly when you're flat broke makes the difference. I originally had found out about lease options through another investor slash sort of group, like a guru, and who's fantastic, and I have nothing but great things to say about them, but their marketing's expensive, and the amount of money you have to do deals. We didn't have any money, so I needed something that I could start making money with no money at all, and Joe's program is that. If you're flat broke, you can go out and do a deal, and I was flat broke, so I couldn't even afford bandit signs. I couldn't afford anything. So the other thing that I think it really did for me is that we were about to lose our home because we hadn't been able to make the payments when the partnership fell apart, and we had invested all of our savings into that business. And so instead of allowing the bank to take that house, I lease optioned it. And so then I went and bought a house subject to that my wife and family moved into. So I didn't lose my house to foreclosure. I made money on the deal, and I moved into a much nicer, more beautiful home that I own subject to its existing financing, which has been great. I've been able to make that payment because I've been closing deals with Joe's program. So it's just been wonderful. I do this full time. So when the partnership fell apart, that's all I've done is Joe's program. So this is what I do for a living. The first year we made a little over 100,000. We'll probably make double that this year. Unfortunately, I had some horrible debt from the partnership falling apart, so I still feel like I'm broke all the time. But we are almost at the end of paying off all the debt that we had, and we're going to get to start keeping some of this money, which I'm really excited about. So the only automation I've done is the auto marketer, which is phenomenal. So I send out these email blasts, and they go out to people who are trying to sell their house for sale by owner or trying to rent it, and then they respond with, yeah, it sounds like a deal that you offer might work. Give me a call, and so that's what I do. I also run through Zillow, and I call every for sale by owner that's been on Zillow for more than 120 days that may be willing to look at selling their home in this manner. So that's how I find leads. But as far as automating the business, that's what I'm here for this weekend. I really want to learn how, I know Joe teaches how to hire virtual assistants and get boots on the ground and things like that, and I'm currently doing everything. So I would like to, instead of when I first started, I was working, maybe 10 to 20 hours a week, and now I'm doing almost a full 40 hours, and I'd like to get back to the 10 to 20 hours a week, which is really nice. So even though we're making good money, it's pulling time away from my family, which is a big, I don't want to do that, so I want to spend time with them, and in order to do that, I have to automate my business in a way that makes sense. So I'm not doing any automation yet, but I hope to, other than the auto marketer, which does everything for you, so you don't really have to. Bringing in leads is not that difficult. Finding buyers is super easy. The confidence that you need for this program is talking to sellers, and once you get good at that, the rest of this program is very simple. I would say if you're in my area, don't do it because I don't want the competition. No, I'm teasing. I would say that finding a way to generate leads is extremely important, and whether you use Joe's program or somebody else's, that needs to be, your marketing is everything. I believe Joe's is the most effective, least expensive, and I would certainly suggest they start there because it's made a big difference in my life. I want to thank Joe for putting all the time together to put all the videos together. For me, I did not join the mentor program because I didn't have any money. So the $297, I was able to scrounge that up and watch all the videos and do this business without a coach. I screwed up a lot, made some mistakes, but I was still able to make money. Wasn't a lot of money. Like, I'm learning how there's more money in these deals than what I've been able to squeeze out of them. But if you don't have any money, Joe's push button method, if you just follow it to the T, you can start making money with this business right away. And you know, I think that you should go for it. You know, it'll change your life. And it's slow and gradual, but once you get your first deal, the confidence that that brings to you, you got to grab onto that, because the beginning is tough. People hang up on you, cuss you out. They figure out real quickly you don't know what you're talking about. But learn what you're talking about. Continue to call people no matter what, and do the right thing when you're talking to them. Be honest. Yeah, I just think that Joe's program is the least expensive, most effective real estate program I've ever seen, and my entire background is real estate. So my family owns a custom home building company that's been building custom homes in St. Louis for over 40 years, and so real estate is kind of what I know. Real estate investing I knew nothing about, and Joe's program really took me to a whole nother level, and I recommend it to anybody. I mean, I think if you're desperate like me, you're probably on the internet trying to find some way to make money, which is what I did. And there's thousands and thousands of programs out there. Fishing through them is extremely difficult. So listen to somebody who's done it. I've done it, and there's tons of people here that are doing it. And you don't have a lot to lose because it's pretty inexpensive. There's a lot of programs out there, and it's hard to fish through them, and I hate that for people who aren't. I see people that are buying these $10,000, $20,000 programs, never doing it, never making a single dollar, and it just, I'm grateful that didn't happen to me, but I also don't like that it happens to other people. And Joe's no bones about his program. I'm doing it to make money. However, he's not. He ultimately cares that you succeed, and I think that makes all the difference. So if you have the money, you should definitely do the mentoring program. I didn't have the money, and if you don't have the money, you should still do the program. Sign up for the push button method. I think it's pushbuttonmethod.com. You go there and you can get all the information you need to start closing deals. Go through it at your leisure and knock it out of the park. One thing that I was told that I believe with all my heart, well, two things that I think are very important: that you can do one thing good, two things not so good, and three things not at all. This is actually advice from my own father. And there's 100 ways to make money in real estate. I think it's important to pick one and do it really well. I say that because that's the other thing I like to say is, there's 100 ways to make money in real estate. Pick one and do it well. Because I have done multiple things. I've done private lending, short sale negotiation, and lease options. And I can do them all fairly well, but none of them excellent. And with Joe's program, there is, when you're doing private lending, you have to continually find deals. When you're doing short sales, same thing, you're continually finding deals, and there's not much money in them. Lease options, you can create wealth. And so wealth comes from ownership and creating portfolios, and the lease option business allows you to do that with no money down, bad credit, whatever your situation is. So my things that I really wanted to say was, you can do three things not so good, or one thing really, really well, two things not so good, three things not at all. Find your niche in real estate and do it well. Don't try to do everything else. I think that's advice that I'm learning to take on my own. This is my focus now, and it's really starting to pay off instead of being all over the place trying to do other deals. So it just was advice that I've heard from there's 100 ways to make money in real estate, pick one and do it well. It was advice I got a couple of years ago that I didn't listen to, that I'm starting to listen to now. And being able to do one thing really, really well, two things not so well, and three things not at all is so true. So hopefully that helps somebody. Help me.